Welcome back to Forum Daily News. I'm Wyatt Sharpe, and this is your U.S. election tracker update. Well, last night's presidential debate that took place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was certainly one for the history books. Kamala Harris, the vice president, has really surged to fame over the course of recent weeks after having what many people are saying is the shortest amount of time of any presidential nominee to actually convince the American people that she is the one to serve. Of course, after President Biden stepped down as the Democratic nominee in July after what was, by all accounts, a disastrous performance in his first presidential debate that was hosted by CNN in Atlanta. Joining me now to discuss it all, Luke Radel with Citrus TV, based in New York. He was at both the DNC and the RNC length. Luke, thanks so much for being here.
Hey Wyatt, thanks so much. I'm a big fan.
Perhaps let's just start out here because I know that obviously the debate went very well for Kamala Harris by, the terms of the pundits and what have you. Going into the debate, a lot of people on the Harris campaign and Democrats were a little bit skeptical about the idea of having more than one debate. But within just a few minutes of the conclusion of that debate, the Harris campaign chairwoman putting out a statement basically calling on Donald Trump to participate in a second debate, which was a promise he had already made. But after last night, it seemed as if he was maybe revoking that promise a little bit, saying this morning that he would do a debate, but only if it's on Fox News and only if it's hosted by Sean Hannity or Jesse Waters, or people who are generally very friendly to him. What do you make of kind of the dynamics at play right now?
It's really fascinating because I first got interested in politics in the 2016 election. I think it's pretty universally agreed that Donald Trump won pretty much every single debate during the 2016 Republican primary. Things got a little more mixed once he started going up against Hillary Clinton during the general election. But I mean, obviously, people thought that he won the debate in Atlanta on June 27th. But honestly, I think these 2024 debates might end up being the worst days of Donald Trump's campaign. The June 27th debate, it was a good debate for him, but it also precipitated Joe Biden dropping out of the race, which has significantly harmed his chances of winning this election. And then last night was not a good performance by him against Kamala Harris. He got caught off guard. He lost his focus. She let him, bait him and trigger him basically. And I think that, if his campaign is watching that pattern, we agreed to the first debate with Biden. It didn't go well. We agreed to the second or first debate with Harris, and that didn't go well for us. Do they really want to, put Trump in that position again? I don't know if his advisors will be doing that, but also I don't know how much control they have over him. If he gets it in his head, he wants to go out and do it. I think he's going to do whatever it is he wants.
Yeah, and certainly there's a lot of mixed messaging as well. I mean, some Republicans that I was talking to as the debate was happening yesterday were essentially saying that the performance was not surprising, obviously calling it chaotic, whereas Democrats very much enthusiastic about the idea of a second debate. And even I had one Democrat who told me, it's crazy to think that a few weeks ago there were Democrats who were advocating against making the switch from a President Biden to a Kamala Harris. But last night in the debate, Donald Trump really made an effort to talk about how it's the Biden-Harris administration and really trying to connect her to all of the problems that America has faced over the course of the past 4 years. How might that kind of arise as a problem for her campaign?
Yeah, she definitely needs to separate herself from President Biden, the top of the ticket. She really has not done that yet because most Americans say that they want change. They want something new than what President Biden offered them. Now, Kamala Harris represents newness in a lot of ways. She's the first woman of color to ever be a major party nominee for president of the United States. She would be the first female president if elected. But she did serve under Joe Biden for the past 3.5 years, a presidency that most Americans say that they're not satisfied with. They're not satisfied with the direction of the country. And many of them have this nostalgia for the Trump years, or at least potentially the first 3 years of the Trump administration, and think that they want to give him a second chance on these issues like the economy, like inflation, like the border. And so it is up to Kamala Harris to lay out her vision and differentiate herself from Joe Biden in the next few weeks.
And just a few minutes after the debate concluded, you had Taylor Swift, the most popular person. It's not even really debatable at this point in the music industry, come out and openly endorse Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for president and vice president. It is, I mean, historically, celebrity endorsements don't really tend to move the needle all that much, but I saw a stat recently saying that, after she posted that, about 350,000 people signed up to vote on, I think it's iwillvote.org. I mean, I guess I'm just curious, how much is that potentially going to move the needle, if at all, in this cycle?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is with a younger generation. We are a lot more celebrity and influencer focused. And then also it's about not necessarily convincing young people to vote one way or another, but convincing them to get up off the couch, right? To get out to the polls, to register to vote. You mentioned she posted a link on her Instagram story to register to vote and to get people out to the polls.
All right, we will leave it there. Luke Radel, Citrus TV, thank you so much.